Hey guys, what's going on? It's Billy here for the best place to buy gold online, and welcome back to another episode of this new case for gold series. And if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend it. Go and check out James Ricker's new book, The New Case for Gold. A lot of valuable information in that book. Link is in the description below. So today's video is all about the shadow gold standard and the role that it is actually playing in the international monetary system. So countries around the world are acquiring gold at an accelerated rate in order to diversify their reserve positions. This trend, combined with the huge reserves held by the US, Eurozone and the IMF, amount to a shadow gold standard. The best way to evaluate the shadow gold standard among various countries is to use the ratio of gold to the gross domestic product, or GDP. This gold to GDP ratio can easily be calculated using official figures and compared across countries to see where real gold power resides. The big winners, the real centre of gold power in the world, are the 19 nations that make up the Eurozone and issue the euro. Their gold as a percentage of GDP is over 4%. The United States ratio is about 2.7%. Interestingly, Russia's ratio is also about 2.7%. Russia only has 1/8 of the amount of gold the US has, but their economy is only 1/8 of the size of the US economy. So the ratio is comparable. However, Russia is one of those nations acquiring more gold and seems set on passing the US and matching the Eurozone. Japan and the UK are major economies, but their gold ratio is anemic, about 0.7%. Quite alarming, quite concerning when I actually first read that figure. If you live in the UK, you really need to pay attention. The most interesting case is China. The official gold reserves of China are reported as of July 2015 at 1,658 tons. Yet we know from various reliable sources, including mine production and import statistics, that their actual gold stock is closer to 4,000 tons. I've spoken to refiners and secure logistics firms, people who actually handle physical gold, in addition to official sources, and included their information in my estimates. On the whole, there is enough credible information available to support this estimate at a minimum. It is also entirely possible that China has considerably more than 4,000 tons of gold. China, like Russia, is acquiring gold so that they have a comparable ratio to the US and Europe. This ratio will be crucial when the monetary system collapses, since it will form the basis of a monetary reset and the new rules of the game. In a monetary reset, countries will come together, as I have described, and sit around the table. One can think of that meeting as a poker game. When you sit down at the poker table, you want a big pile of chips. Gold functions like a pile of poker chips in this context. This doesn't mean that the world automatically goes to a gold standard. It does mean that one's voice at the table is going to be a function of the size of its gold hoard. There are only around about 35,000 tons of official gold in the world. The phrase official gold means gold owned by central banks, finance ministers and sovereign wealth funds. This does not include gold jewellery and gold held in private hoards. This means that China's acquisition of over 3,000 tons of gold in the past 7 years represents approximately 10% of all the official gold in the world, a huge shift in gold reserves in favour of China. This explains China's non-transparency. The gold market is liquid but thinly traded. If China's intentions and actions were fully disclosed, the price of gold would likely be much higher. This is always true when a huge buyer shows up in a thin market. China wants to keep the gold price as low as possible until it completes its acquisition program. China is trying to acquire enough gold so that when the international monetary collapse comes, the world has to recut the deal. They've got the prime seat at the table. Countries like Canada, Australia and UK with small gold to GDP ratios will be seated away from the table along the walls. These small gold powers will essentially be spectators in the global monetary reset and will have to content themselves with whatever system the US, Europe, Russia and China devise. In this scenario, Germany will speak for Europe, so the new system will be based on a US, German, Russian, Chinese monetary condominium administered by the IMF. These major gold powers are already preparing for this outcome. This is what I mean when I refer to the shadow gold standard. So there you have it, James Ricker's words to the T from chapter 2 of his book, and as I've said, highly recommend you go check it out. Links in the description below. And if you get value from this, feel free to like, comment and share. And if you want to know more about what it is that we're up to, go ahead and check out my website goldfinancial.de. You have nothing to lose by going over there and registering yourself for a free account. And I will see you in the conclusion of this series. Take care. Bye bye.